Welcome to today's video on the hidden cost of rolling over your 401k while you're still employed. First, we will expose the legal barriers many people overlook. Then, we will break down the fee trap and the advisor conflict of interest. Next, we will show you how to maximize your retirement by leveraging low-cost institutional funds inside your 401k and choosing the right kind of advice. Finally, we will wrap up with actionable steps, a quick quiz, and a concise summary to help you move forward with confidence. Here is our agenda. First, we will debunk the big myth around rollovers and so-called fee efficiency. Second, we will cover the legal barrier known as in-service rollovers. Third, we will examine the fee trap and advisor conflicts. Fourth, we will present the smart approach to managing your retirement savings. Fifth, we will walk through quick math and visuals. Sixth, we will test your knowledge with a short quiz. Finally, we will conclude with key takeaways and a wrap-up. To begin, let's tackle the prevailing myth that you should consolidate all your accounts for so-called fee efficiency. While the percentage fee might appear to drop slightly as balances grow, the actual dollars paid often rise substantially when you roll low-cost 401k assets into an advisor's higher fee ecosystem. In other words, you can end up paying more for less actual advice related to your 401k, which you could have left in a more cost-effective plan. Now let's cover the legal barrier: in-service rollovers. Federal rules restrict distributions of elective 401k contributions while you are still working, unless you are over age 59 and a half, or your specific plan permits in-service distributions at age 50 or 55 for certain amounts. Rolling over your active retirement savings is not allowed. Your Summary Plan Description, or SPD, is the controlling document that spells out what is possible, and you should always review it carefully before taking any action. Assuming a rollover is possible is a critical error that can lead to delays, penalties, or missed opportunities. This flowchart walks you through the real-world decision process. First, it asks whether you are employed with an active 401k. If not, you may consider rolling over an old 401k. If you are employed, it checks whether you are over age 59 and a half. If you are, it directs you to verify in-service distribution rules in your SPD and then compare total costs before moving anything. If you are under 59 and a half, it asks whether your SPD allows in-service distributions at age 50 or 55 for certain amounts. If it does, the chart instructs you to verify which types of contributions are eligible and to compare all-in costs. In many cases, the path leads to staying in the plan due to institutional pricing and low expense ratios. If your SPD does not permit in-service distributions, the flow ends with rollover prohibited and the recommendation to keep maximizing contributions and capture the employer match. Finally, the diagram reminds you to document any advice and to avoid conflicts of interest. Let's compare typical institutional 401k funds to advisor-managed accounts that charge an assets under management fee. On the left, 401k plans often provide ultra-low expense ratios, sometimes from a few basis points to 0.1%, with no advisory fee applied to plan assets. They also include plan-level fiduciary oversight, payroll deferrals, employer matching contributions, and ERISA protections. On the right, advisor-managed IRAs commonly add a percentage-based fee, often between 0.5% and 1.5% annually, on top of underlying fund expenses. These fees scale with your account size, meaning the dollars you pay increase as your balance grows. Advisors may be incentivized to gather assets, which can conflict with your best interests if your 401k is cheaper. While you may gain a broader investment menu or planning services, those services can often be purchased separately for a flat or hourly fee. Next, consider some quick math. An $800,000 balance charged a 1% advisory fee results in $8,000 per year in advisory fees alone. The same balance invested within a 401k at a 4 basis point expense ratio costs roughly $320 per year. That is a difference of approximately $7,680 annually. And over a decade, this gap can exceed tens of thousands of dollars, especially when accounting for compounding on the retained savings. The key lesson is that a larger balance does not guarantee cheaper outcomes in dollar terms. Even if your advisory fee percentage steps down slightly, the total dollars you pay often still increase. This pie chart visualizes the proportion of your account directed to fees versus growth. In a simple example, the fund expenses at 4 basis points are barely visible, while the 1% advisory fee takes a noticeably larger slice. The remainder represents the portion of the account effectively left to grow. The purpose is to demonstrate how small differences in percentages can translate into large differences in dollars over time. Here is an annual fee comparison by balance. At $250,000, a 1% advisory fee costs $2,500 per year, while a 5 basis point expense ratio costs $125, resulting in a difference of $2,375. At $500,000, the difference is $4,750. At $1 million, the difference reaches $9,500 per year. These are annual figures and do not include the additional impact of compounding the savings over time. Moving forward, focus on the SMART approach. First, keep maximizing contributions inside your 401k to leverage institutional pricing. Second, always capture your employer match, which is effectively an immediate return on your contributions. Third, if you hire an advisor, prioritize them for comprehensive planning, tax strategy, and management of taxable accounts, rather than transferring protected, low-cost plan assets into an assets under management structure. Fourth, favor flat fee or hourly advice to better align incentives. Fifth, request and carefully read your summary plan description to confirm whether any in-service distributions are allowed, at what ages, and for which contribution sources. Finally, document all recommendations and calculate all-in costs, both in your current plan and any proposed alternative, before making changes. Here is a concise checklist. First, read your summary plan description and identify the rules for in-service distributions by age and contribution source. Second, inventory your 401k funds and calculate the weighted average expense ratio. Third, obtain your advisor's full fee schedule, including AUM tiers and typical underlying fund expenses. Fourth, compare all-in costs in actual dollars at your current and projected balances. Fifth, clarify whether you are paying for comprehensive planning or simply asset gathering. Sixth, if you need advice, prioritize flat fee or hourly fiduciary planners. This timeline highlights important age-based milestones. At age 50, catch-up contributions become available, increasing how much you can contribute to your 401k. At age 55, the separation of service rule may allow penalty-free withdrawals from that employer's plan if you separate in or after the year you turn 55. At age 59.5, many plans permit in-service distributions, although you must confirm this in your summary plan description. Finally, required minimum distributions begin later in life, commonly at age 73 under current law for many individuals, but you should verify your specific requirement as laws can change. Question: while still employed, when is an in-service rollover of elective 401k contributions generally allowed? Option A, anytime you want, it's your money. Option B, only after leaving the employer, regardless of age. Option C, usually at age 59.5, or if your summary plan description specifically allows certain in-service distributions at 50 or 55. Option D, never. Rollovers are illegal. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is usually at age 59.5, or if your summary plan description specifically allows certain in-service distributions at 50 or 55. While employed, distributions of elective contributions are generally limited, so you must confirm the rules in your plan documents. Question: what is a key risk of rolling low-cost 401k assets into an advisor-managed IRA under an AUM fee? Option A, lower expenses due to economies of scale. Option B, you will pay less in dollars because the percentage fee decreases. Option C, paying more dollars each year as your balance grows, diverting compounding to fees. Option D, guaranteed higher returns due to active management. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is paying more dollars each year as your balance grows. thereby diverting compounding to fees. Even if an advisor's percentage-based fee steps down for larger balances, the absolute dollars paid typically increase, which can erode long-term growth. Before we conclude, here is an important disclaimer. This video provides educational information and is not individualized financial, legal, or tax advice. Plan rules vary by employer and can change over time. You must read your summary plan description and consult a qualified fiduciary advisor or tax professional before taking action. Here are the key takeaways. In-service rollovers are legally restricted, and your summary plan description controls the specifics. Many modern 401k plans provide ultra-low institutional costs that you should not abandon lightly. Assets under management fees can siphon thousands of dollars per year, and even more over time. Use advisors primarily for planning and tax strategy, and prefer flat or hourly fee models. Always document recommendations and compare all-in costs before transferring assets. To wrap up, verify any rollover eligibility through your plan's summary plan description and never assume it is allowed. Run fee comparisons in absolute dollar terms rather than focusing only on percentages. Keep your low-cost funds inside your 401k and always capture the employer match. If you hire an advisor, align incentives by choosing flat fee or hourly models that separate planning from asset gathering. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, please like the video, share it with someone nearing retirement, and subscribe for more practical guidance. Finally, tell us your experiences and questions in the comments so we can help in future videos.